and Gio.
BT and Sal.
Kevin and Tiki. Keith McPherson, your nighttime host on The Fan.
On The Fan.
On The Fan.
On The Fan.
It's WFAN Daily, hosted by Pete Hoffman.
Welcome to another episode of WFAN Daily with your host, Pete Hoffman. And this episode is labeled, The Yankees Won the Juan Soto Trade. And this is not a dig at Juan Soto. This is nothing about Juan Soto. This is about Trent Grisham. This is about the Yankees, a throwaway piece to the puzzle in Trent Grisham. His third grand slam of the season for the Yankees. He's got 29 home runs on the season so far this year. And all I've heard about is next year, Cody Bellinger has to come back. That's what the Yankees have to do, is bring back Cody Bellinger. He is a key piece to this puzzle. Cody Bellinger is your guy. We've heard rumors of Kyle Tucker being on the block, or not being on the block, but being a top-end free agent next year. He's going to make a ton of money. Kyle Tucker will be great in pinstripes. But the one piece no one has talked about and nobody is thinking about is Trent Grisham. Here's a guy who we know, if you're a Met fan, you know what he did to the Mets with San Diego in that wild card series in 2022, when he basically just punked the Mets. He himself beat up the New York Mets, had big hits, had big defensive stops in the outfield. He was amazing. And this is a guy that doesn't play a lot, which is why last year when Juan Soto was on the Yankees, Trent Grisham was a bench rider. That's what he did. He was left bench, left out, whatever you want to say. He did not play and didn't get opportunity to show how good he can be. And to be fair, he really hasn't had many opportunities in his career to play every day. But this year, with the rough left field play from Jason Dominguez, that opened up a spot for Trent Grisham. And Trent has done nothing but hit in big spots. And the Yankees have a glory. If Aaron Judge could ever play the outfield again, if he could do that, if he could play right field, you have an incredible outfield of Judge in right, Grisham in center, and Bellinger in left field. That is a dynamite defense, plus every single one of them is an offensive master at this moment in time. You have your elite outfield. Like you may not have meant it to be that way, but that's what you did. You literally walked into it. You got thrown an extra piece. Do us a favor, give us 5 pieces and eat a little bit of Trent Grisham's contract. We don't really play him that much anyway. Hold on to him, whatever. We don't care, but just get him off our roster. All right, no problem. And it worked out for the Yankees. If they did not have Trent Grisham this year, who knows where they would be without him. Again, he plays a hell of a center field, and he has been nothing but clutch offensively. Again, 29 home runs this season for Trent Grisham, 3 home runs with bases loaded. 3 home runs with bases loaded. That's 16 RBIs with bases loaded so far this season. I think he's 3 for 7? He's got a couple walks put in there as well. He has been clutch. And the Yankees have to really think about making him not a cornerstone piece, but here's a guy, again, who's never really made a lot of money, who's, hasn't really had a great opportunity to play. Here he is. He's playing for you. He could do it. Throw him a bone. He's not going to be making, 5 years, $120 million. You're talking about a guy who may be 3 for 50, 4 for 60, something like that. Yes, it reminds you of the DJ LeMahieu deals. But to be fair, they gave DJ a lot more money. Trent, I think, is going to be lower. And at the very least, a 4th outfielder. And this is still to even say you're not getting rid of Jason Dominguez, because I know everyone's going to say, well, what do you do with Jason Dominguez? Because he's young, he's coming up. Like, you can't You have to play him next year. Well, I don't have to do shit. How about that? Jason Dominguez has to earn his freaking time. How about that? Let me ask you a question. Are the Yankees better defensively and better offensively with that defense that I laid out before? With Bellinger in left, Grisham in center, and Judge in right. You tell me. You answer that question. It's very simple. Yes, those three are better than Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge, Dominguez, Grisham, and Judge, Dominguez, Bellinger, and Grisham in the right field. You could try as much as you want, but Dominguez on any side, even if Dominguez is in center field, it is not as good offensively and definitely defensively as it is with Grisham, Bellinger, and Judge. Now, listen, right now, there is no Judge in right field. Right now, it's Stanton. Stanton's playing left field. He's playing right field. He's playing a little bit of both. And we'll take it. You have not seen a dip in production with him playing the outfield. Now, listen, is it the most comfortable? No. In a big-time spot with a prolific hitter up who can place the ball well and can make Stanton do something that he doesn't want to do and have to make him chase for a ball, would that be good? No, it wouldn't. But right now, we haven't gotten to that part yet. And hopefully by the time we have to see that, Judge can play the field. That being said, a great win for the Yankees as they beat the Astros 7-1. This is the gauntlet right here, okay? They got a 12-game stretch. And right now, they are 1-for-1 with wins over good teams in the American League. It's the Astros, it's the Blue Jays, it's the Tigers, and it's the Red Sox. And those four teams are all going to be in the playoffs. The Yankees are going to have to face at least one, maybe two of those teams in the playoffs. And it's a good first start. Framber Valdez, not saying he had his worst stuff, but he definitely didn't have his best stuff. And I have to say something. I did see something quite funny. After his home run to Grisham on a incoming pitch, there was a cross-up between Framber Valdez and the catcher Salazar. And the cross-up was basically, it looked like they called for an off-speed pitch, and instead Valdez threw a fastball right to the chest of Salazar and was not expecting it, and he just got pummeled in the chest. And Valdez basically looked back and walked back the other way like, yeah, no sweat off my ass. You made me cough up that home run. You what an awful pitch you made me give up to Trent Grisham. So I'm not sure if there was intent there, but it was funny. You could definitely find it online. That's where I found it. But look up Salazar and Valdez cross-up. Got to give Jazz Chisholm, who also was a piece to this game too, 2 more home runs from Jazz. His swag is back. He's definitely feeling it right now. He hit 2 huge home runs and made sure he pimped every second of it. So Jazz is looking good. Again, good outing by Max Fried. Had I don't know how many innings he had a no-hitter going on for, but it was a decent amount, maybe half the game. He looked untouchable. He looked unhittable. And that's good to see. That's been the biggest key right now. The Yankees have been in a little bit of a funk. Max Fried hasn't been in a bit of a funk. And the bad teams, they could dominate pitching, offensively. It's fine. They could hit home runs. To face a good team in the Houston Astros, a team that always has their number, that is great to see from the Yankees. So kudos to them. 1 up, 1 down. Cross it off, check it off. Yankees are 1-0 on this 12-game gauntlet. Again, the last 13 games after that, it's cake. It's the White Sox, it's the Baltimore Orioles twice, and it's the Twins. So there should be no hiccup there. There should be no issues at all. You should just be able to beat up and pad up your stats on these teams that are basically dead to rights. But again, Yankees, job well done for this first game in Houston. Let's go to Detroit real quick and wrap things up as Juan Soto does it again. He's now hit his 37th home run of the season. 37th home run of this season. His max high was last year with 41. Today, as we're recording this podcast, it is Tuesday, September 2nd. The season goes till September 30th, I think is the final date of the season. Maybe it's the 29th, whatever it is. There's about 24 games left to this season. Juan Soto is four home runs shy from tying his personal home run record at 41. 5 home runs from breaking that. Can he hit 5 in 24 games? I think so. I truly do. I think that Juan Soto, especially right now, he's on such a heater. He's hit 5 home runs in 5 days. I think it's 12 RBIs in the past 5 days. He's been on fire. There's no doubt about it. I think he could surpass the 41 home runs. I think he could even surpass the 111 RBIs. I think his max is 110, and I think he needs now, with that RBI he got today, I think he needs 20 more RBIs to surpass his total to give himself a 111. But I think he could do that. And the funny thing is that all I heard about in the beginning of the season was Juan Soto's having a bad season, that he's not worth the money, that it sucks for the Mets, that they have to deal with this because he's just not as good. He's not this generational player. He's not this great player. He's a good on-base guy. He gets on base, but he's not coming through in clutch. His wrist is terrible. That's runners in scoring position. If you don't know, but you do know, so I shouldn't be telling you that. But his runners in scoring position is terrible, and this contract is going to backfire miserably. But let's just remember, if you are a Met fan today, you better keep what was said the first half of the season, and you better hold on to that. Because when this guy breaks his previous records, and I'm not saying he's sitting there breaking any real record in baseball, maybe the 40-30, 40 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Yeah, that's something. That's pretty nice. It's pretty rare. We know Ohtani's on the 50-50, but we've never seen the speed from Soto before. So then the power and the speed and the walks and the RBIs and the runs scored. I mean, he's doing it all. And his OPS is continuing to raise. It was a 775, I think, back in June or early May or something like that. And it has completely risen and completely gone. It's now listen, you could sit there and say, 915 OPS is not that great. Whatever. Look at Judge. He's got like 1,000 OPS. He's got the 4th to 5th highest OPS in the league. His on base, which again, it's a little bit under 4. It's the 3rd highest on base in the league. So I'm just comparing. You could compare Juan Soto to what he's not done in the past, or what star players or what, record setters in a season have done. I'm just telling you, this season, he's legitimately becoming an MVP. You look at his numbers, you look at his home runs, you look at his on base, you look at his OPS, you look at his runs batted in, you look at his runs scored, you look at his walks, stolen bases. He has turned himself into an MVP in the past 2 months. There's no doubt about it. There's no questions about it. He is the Pete Alonso. I always say he's MVP. It's Juan Soto. He has put this team on his back the past couple weeks. He's had big hit after big hit after big hit. First time ever in baseball history. Think about that. First time ever in baseball history that someone has taken a lead with a grand slam followed by a triple by taking the lead with a triple. So taking the lead with a grand slam, making it 6-3, and then getting the lead back again with a 2-run triple. First time ever that's happened. The same hitter has gotten a home run and a triple the same game and given him a lead with both hits. First time ever. And it may sound stupid. Maybe like, what are you pulling out of your ass, these stupid stats? Listen, the point is, he has turned it around from everybody that's saying he was unclutch, he wasn't good, he's overrated. He's turned it around. And again, to the Met fan out there that had to sit there for the first 2 months to take the jabs, to take all that crap from anybody. It doesn't have to be just Yankee fan. It could be anybody. It could be your mother. It could be your brother. It could be your dog. It could be your next door neighbor. Who cares who it was, what it's about? But if anybody gave you shit about Juan Soto, remember, when he breaks all his records, his personal records, go back to those same people and be like, remember when you said this is a bad season for Juan Soto? In his bad season, he's put up his personal best records. So if this is a bad season, what was last year with the Yankees? What was last year when he helped take you to the World Series? What was that? And it clearly isn't just Aaron Judge being the key to him with the power and driving in runs. He is that good of a player. Put respect on the name. I don't care how much money he's making. The money has nothing to do with it. He got paid already. Guess what? How many other players in baseball have gotten paid, or in sports in general, have gotten paid and have completely tanked? Chris Davis with the Orioles. Jason Bay with the Mets. We can go down the list of players who get paid and don't perform. He got paid the biggest contract in baseball, and again, is going to put up MVP numbers and is going to put up the best season he's ever put up. Can he keep that up is the question. How about that? Is this going to be sustainable? Is he going to be this good? I mean, I heard, and I hate to say this because Gary and Keith, I thought this too. He's 26 years old. Guess what that means? He's 26 years old. He hasn't hit his prime yet. Prime is usually 27, 28. That's when you're like in the prime of your career, 27 to like 32. Those are the years where you just take off and put up ridiculous numbers, i.e. Aaron Judge. And go down the laundry list of players who, in that span, that's where Ryan Braun, I know he was on Juice back in the day, but Ryan Braun really kicked into gear around 27, 28 years old. That's where a lot of people, a lot of ball players find their niche, find their spot, and just go off and are their best selves for like this 5-year stint between 27 and 32, maybe 33 years old, maybe a little bit even longer than that. Juan Soto's 26. That's stupid. If this is not as good as he can be, Mets fans, eureka. You found your Hall of Famer. And you got another one side by side with him with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso had 32nd and 33rd home run of the season. He's 7 away from 40 home runs. This is now he's just padding his stats for the most home runs of all time as a New York Met. And again, does it make a difference? No, it doesn't. But let me just say something too. Again, this is not supposed to be a Met Yankee thing, but since I'm here, might as well do it. Aaron Judge, how many home runs does Aaron Judge have? He's got over 350. I forgot the exact number, but he's tied with Yogi. I think it's 358, something like that. 358. Now, that is a high number. No one's going to doubt it. Giancarlo Stanton's got 446 or 447 or whatever his total is, almost 450 home runs. Judge is still about 100 away from him. You know that Judge is definitely going to pass or surpass Stanton. He should hit 500 home runs, but he's not there yet. And if you look at the guys that Judge is going to catch up to, the Yankees have been around for over 120 years. The guys at the top of the list that Judge is going to start passing, like Yogi, like Mantle at some point in time, hopefully, right? Mantles and Ruths, hopefully that happens. Hopefully he's around that long and hitting that many home runs. But the numbers that he's going to start getting to, these guys have been out of the game for 75 years. So when the criticism of the New York Mets for most home runs of all time, the Mets have been around baseball for 60 plus years, right? 65, whatever it is. And yes, they now have a guy who is still padding his stats a little bit and hopefully will be here for at least another year, hopefully the rest of his career, and can put up those 500 plus home runs for the New York Mets. But let's not make it like this is a disgrace that, oh my goodness, the Mets only had 260 home runs in their career. Judge is a great home run hitter. We know that. But yet somehow this guy doesn't have 400 or 500 home runs, and nobody else on the Yankees really does either. Think about all their prolific home run hitters that they had. They are missing from the top 5, and Judge has passed everybody else. Just look at those stats. Look at where the Yankees are. Look at Judge, where he sits in line with the Yankees home run kings. He's starting to be at the top. There's no question. He's got a long way to go, though, to catch those top 5. So for anybody that wants to sit there and criticize the Mets and their lack of star power or home run hitting power, or like what a weak number with 254 or 253, excuse me. Well, you know what? Maybe it's harder than we thought it was. Maybe it was harder than we thought it was. And again, Mets have only been around for 65 years. If Strawberry was around for his whole career with the Mets, he clearly would have had over 300 home runs. But he didn't. He left. Pete needs to stay a Met, no doubt about it. But if he doesn't, you got Lindor, maybe not hitting as many home runs as them, so I'll take that out. But Soto, 15 years, I'm not telling you he's going to hit 40 home runs every year. But if he's hitting 30 home runs every year, 25 to 30 home runs every year, that's your new home run king for the Mets. And 500 home runs is very much in sight. Again, and a huge win by the Mets today, 12-2. Nolan McLean, who really should have been the lead rather than Juan Soto, but I just thought that Juan Soto was again, just keep there was so much crap about Juan Soto. I am just happy that I could marinate in what he's done well, because this is what I wanted to happen. This is what I wanted. I wanted to watch great ball players play baseball every day, and now I get to watch that. It's not just Juan Soto. It is Pete Alonso. It is Francisco Lindor. And you can sit there and we can complain about the slumps that they have, but guess what? Everyone has slumps. Everybody has slumps. And they still, at the end of the year, put up their numbers. That's the key. Look at the end of the season. Look at their numbers and be like, did they put together a Francisco Lindor season? Did they put up a Juan Soto season? Did they put up a Pete Alonso season? I bet they will. I bet they will. Now, real quickly, Nolan McLean has, had an extremely rough start to Tuesday's game. I thought that this was the day that we were going to see Nolan McLean collapse, that this was the day that we were going to see Nolan McLean basically turn into his version of Kodai Senga or Clay Holmes. And instead, he continues to show that he is the best pitcher on the New York Mets. The first inning, he can't locate his off-speed pitches. His ball moves so much. It's so stupid. I forgot which inning it was where I think he struck out Spencer Torkelson, or was it Colton Keith or somebody like that. Either way, ball just completely last minute just veers off to the right, and you can't touch it. You can barely see it. It is stupid how much movement last second Nolan McLean's balls have when he throws them over the plate. And that's the problem. He wasn't locating his off-speed stuff. He just couldn't locate it. It was moving all over the place. He wasn't placing it properly. He walked a bunch of guys. So those runs scored, unfortunately, because he's walking guys. That's what always happens. You walk guys, they score. It's how life goes. That's called baseball, Susan. That being said, though, he buckled down, figured it out. He even said in the post-game interview that he lost confidence in his off-speed stuff, but the following inning, he got back out there and battled through it and found it again and was able to find it again. And I don't know another starting pitcher on this New York Mets team that can do that. I see too many pitchers that start a game and you could just see from the get-go, they don't have this pitch today. This whether it's a changeup, whether it's a curveball, whether it's a slider, sinker, forkball, whatever it is, just not working. And they can't use it. And they got to deal with their fastballs, and they have to basically cut their pitches in half because they have no idea what to do now, because they can't figure out why their one pitch isn't working. Nolan McLean, now maybe this was help with Hefner, who knows, but Nolan McLean was able to, in his fourth start ever, after a rough first inning of not being able to locate his off-speed pitches where the ball's moving all over the place, in one half inning, he was able to get it right and go back out there and put up 5 shutout innings after his first rough inning. 6 innings in total, another quality start, another win for Nolan McLean. That is now 4 in a row, first time ever that a Mets won his first 4 games of his career. The last time it's happened, I think, was Chase Anderson was in 2014 and Garrett Cole in 2013. Those are the only 3 players to do it since 2010, that their first 4 games, they got to win. So kudos to Nolan McLean to going out there and figuring it out. Luis Torrens got to get some credit too, because We talk about these big hits. We talk about the Soto home run. We talk about the Pete home run. We talk about Pete's both home runs. And everybody basically hit. The only people that didn't hit was Cedric Mullins. Shocker. Amazing how everybody hits but Cedric Mullins. He hasn't got a hit in about a week. And Francisco Lindor, strangely enough, got an 0 for. He hit the ball hard, but they went to, right at people. What are you going to do? He did get an RBI, so be it. But Luis Torrens did break this game open. It was 3-2, and Torrens was able to hit a 3-run home run to make it 6-2, and that really helped set the tone, put McLean at ease. And that's so far the one thing that you've seen with Nolan McLean now. The last 2 starts, the offense has delivered. I mean, and Jonah Tong, too. Jonah Tong has gotten lucky with the offense. Jonah Tong had 12 runs in the first 2 innings. Nolan McLean, when he went versus Philadelphia, and he goes 8 innings. In that 8th inning, the first thing he does, he gets 2 guys on base. He's a man first and third. But Vientos in the inning prior, like I said, hit that 2-run jack to let to give that breathing room for Nolan McLean and for Carlos Mendoza to allow Nolan McLean to try to get out of it. Like, he's a young kid. He's the best pitcher on the team, clearly. I don't want to go to my bullpen right now. It's a 6-0 lead. Let's see if the kid has what it takes to get us out of this inning, get us out of this gym. And he did. And that's something special that McLean has been able to do. He has been lucky enough that the offense has helped him out substantially. But when he has gotten into a jam, he has been able to limit the damage, unlike most other pitchers we see for the New York Mets. So, that being said, great night for both the Mets and the Yankees. Now, bad news for the Yankees, Toronto won. The Red Sox won as well. So, the Red Sox are on the heels of the Yankees. Toronto Blue Jays, it was a bloodbath in Cincinnati. I mean, they were going at it left and right. I think the final score was 12-9. They were just continuously. I think the Blue Jays had like 4 home runs or 5 home runs. It was a crazy back and forth battle in Cincinnati. But good for the Mets, the Reds lost. Bad for the Yankees, Toronto won. But again, you're nothing's changed. You're still 2.5 behind the Blue Jays, and you're going to see the Blue Jays. After these next 2 games versus the Astros, the Blue Jays are up next. So the Yankees can control their own destiny in that 3-game series versus the Blue Jays. Just got to keep on winning. And it was a good start. First, Houston, a team that the Yankees are notoriously awful against. They went out there. Max Fried pitched his balls off, and Trent Grisham, a clutch grand slam, but on also the help of Jazz Chisholm with those 2 solo shots as well. Anything else of note? Philly was off today. Chicago, did Chicago play? Yeah, Chicago won. Milwaukee was off today. So Detroit lost. Kansas City lost. So, I mean, everything is looking good for the locals right now between the Mets and the Yankees. And football's around the corner. Now, as you listen to this, tomorrow, Thursday is right there, and you got to have the first Thursday night football game of the season with the Eagles and the Cowboys. So now, not only are we sitting here with this playoff race, now we're going to have to interrupt it with the football, which is great distraction because there's going to be some bad losses here, and you're going to just want to try to wallow into some football. So it's going to be a really quick-moving September. It's going to be fun, but stick here every single night as I record these lovely WFAN dailies for you guys. That's what I do. You can follow me at Hoff WFAN. I will do it every night, reacting to the games, reacting to football, whatever it is, reacting to whatever news. And then if you miss it live, you could always just download it from the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. You can find WFAN Daily and go back and listen to it. Or you can just go watch it on YouTube as well. It's always there. That's always an option as well. Hit me up at Hoff WFAN. Like, subscribe to the YouTube page. And we'll be back tomorrow. I'm back with BT and Sal tomorrow, 10 a.m. It should be fun. There's a lot to get to. More footballs leaking out as Jackson Dart's now named the number 2 on the depth chart. So that's going to cause chaos. Is Jameis Winston basically a stiff this season? I don't think so. I think he still has an important role, but we'll get into that and more as we get closer to football. But thank you again for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. Again, it is me, Pete Hoffman, and just for Boomer and Gio's record, Cam Schlittler. Ta-da! Please let them know that that's what I just did so they can go and repeat that over and over and over. Again, thank you to listening, watching, all that stuff. WFAN Daily. Make sure you like, subscribe just for me and for anybody else that you like to listen to, whether it's Rico Bronya. We'll have that tomorrow after. It's going to be later because I have 2 fantasy football drafts. So it'll be probably around 10 or 11 o'clock that I'll be getting down with Evan for that Rico Bronya podcast. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys following me and listening to me at Hoff WFAN and on the radio and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, but thank you. Peace out. See ya.